All right, here we are, King of the Hammers 2020. We're out here at Lasertown. We've got two amazing individuals here with us. We've got Vaughn Gitten Jr. and Loren Healy. This is Team Fun Haver. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Well, thank you for coming out here, Cody Waggoner, for letting us use his facility. He's
Very
out there.
awesome facility, I want to add.
It's ridiculous.
Vaughn's ready to buy here.
Vaughn is ready to buy here. I bet we can find a realtor. Hot off the market. You have your own little landing pad. You can have your own little place to crash here.
It's pretty beautiful out here. Something about the desert that is very special.
And we get out here, it's quiet. We're away from the masses. We can actually knock something out and find out really what is going on for you guys this week. And I'm not talking about just race stuff. Like, how on earth did you two team up?
Maybe I'll take this one. So 5 years ago, I got a call from Nido, and they're like, "Hey, you want to try this King of the Hammers race in Johnson Valley?" I remember I was on family vacation, and I was like, "What?" I kind of knew what it was. I'm like, "You mean like the race that's like the big giant rocks in the desert?" And they're like, "Yep, that one." I'm like, "I'm in." So I showed up here. I got literally, it's like 2 weeks. It was like a 2-week request. So I showed up, and I'm like checking out this spec car, one of the Jimmy spec cars, I think it was. And Loren comes up, and obviously Loren's a fellow Nido teammate at the time as well. And he's like, "Hey, let's go." So we started chatting a bit, and very quickly hit it off. And he offered to take me out and kind of show me the ropes. So the first thing that we did, I will never in my life forget this. We jump in this spec car and we go out. He'll tell you what was it? You said it was old qualifying waterfall or something?
Yeah, something super basic and easy.
Basic and easy.
Yeah, so anyway, I pull up to it, and I'm looking up at this thing, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" He's like, "You're going to go up that." I'm like, I thought it was the rookie joke, God, no, what are we really
punking me.
What are we really doing, Lauren? He's like, "No, put it in 4 low and drive up that." And I'm like, "Okay." So I put it in 4 low, and I'm feeling it up, and I'm like, "Okay, I get it. These things are super capable, and it does gnarly stuff like this." So we spent some time kind of getting a little bit familiar, and then I actually went up Chocolate Thunder a few times with Bailey Cole, and really had a lot of great welcoming support here in here.
It's
an
open
as
community,
you know,
right? Yeah. This
community is unbelievable. 5 years later, I've very much know it and respect and appreciate it. It's very much like drifting, honestly. So we did that, and then I went and raced hammers the next day, and finished I think top 10 in the 4800 class was it was
4800.
Yeah.
one of spec cars.
Yeah, it was an
that
old
cool.
spec car that raced in 4800.
Yeah. So and I had a blast, and for me, I grew up racing motocross. That was the first thing I did as a teenager, but I always loved being outdoors and riding BMX or racing motocross, and so being out here, just the views. I was racing, and I'm just like, whoa, it's just so much to take in, and I just fell in love with it. And I thought, it was really cool and fun and a new challenge. I've been doing drifting for now going on 17 years. So it wasn't I was looking for something new, but how things happen. They just so things happen, and you either make sense of it or you don't, right?
You chased your heart.
Yeah, I just it was so I did that first race, and I'm like, okay, well now I think I probably have to build a truck. So the next year is when I built Brocky, and I had great help with Loren's advices and obviously Randy's advices, and kept spending some time learning things. We got Brocky out and went and raced 4500, and testing. Loren would be there. Even had some help with Nick, and the whole really the Jimmy's family was very helpful in that.
I feel like it was very, very calculated. Every step of the way was very calculated. That hey, I like this. I'm going to dip my toe in it. I'm going to build this. Now I'm going to earn my wings, so to speak, and then I'm going to move up, and now you're killing it.
Well, and that was one of the things that I really loved the first day we talked. You were like, there's no point, and it's not good for my personality to come and race and be 50th place against all you guys have been doing this your whole life. I want to learn at the bottom, get good at it, and then come up. And I always really respected that she said that, because a lot of people, a lot of the other athletes that come in here and try to do this, they can't figure it out. They can't figure out the rocks, the trophy truck drivers, the Robbie Gordons, those guys. No other crossover driver has came in and been able to get to the finish line. And
does it feel like it's an ego thing?
I don't know if it's an ego thing, but and I just had my first learning curve with drifting at SEMA, and I thought, yeah, you go do donuts in the parking lot, like badass, you're a good driver. But it really changed my whole mentality about it, and really, showed how good of a driver Vaughn is, and how well rounded he is in all things motorsports.
The respect level goes massively up.
It was insane because I can't drift to save my life.
But he will soon.
I just like seeing like when you sling your Mustang around, beautiful Ford Mustang, and I think it's cool what you've done with Loren, that you got like Chelsea Denofa into Ford as well from BMW back in the day. I've watched you enough, but the fact when you sling the rear end of the car around and you miss like the rails by inches, like how do you like?
You're just connected, it's like anything else, and like for this sport, for me, to your point, it was like I wanted to come in and do it right. Like I didn't want to just jump into 4,400. First of all, I didn't have the money to just build a 4,400 vehicle. Although some people might say, well, Brocky was a 4,400 truck from the beginning. But for me, a lot of it was calculated in the fact that I just wanted to learn and get good and build my skill level and see where it took me. I didn't have like these grandiose plans, even go to 4,400. In fact, I went to 44 probably a year earlier than I would have because I got kicked out of 45.
Yeah, right.
But look, everything happens for a reason, and I just look at that as like I was being pushed to work harder towards it. And for me, I just enjoyed the challenge. I have great support from, who could ask for a better mentor with respect to the experience and what to look for. And, like the driving in the desert and the managing the weight and tossing a vehicle around, like that comes naturally from drifting. But the skill of reading the rocks and how to approach those things and what to do when you get tied up, like that's experience. And like, he's got 15, 20 years of it, So I'm really grateful to have his support. And again, I have to thank, Randy at Jimmy's. He was very supportive the first couple of years. And, it's been great. And everybody has been very, very helpful and supportive. And it was very quick that, aside from the driving and the fun I was having, I realized the opportunity out here that, this is a great sport. It's a family-oriented sport. This is, I have my first son. He's 1 year old. And this is a place that I saw Loren with his kids. They come out and they're, yes, he's racing, but they're having fun, and they'll spend a day or two on the back end or the front end to do some family stuff. And to me, I'm like, there's legs here. Like there's really something here that can be leveraged, not only from a business and with respect to my partners and things that I know that they like to do and how they like to leverage things, but for me and like my future goals with my family and the things that I want to be doing. So I was, after that first year with Brocky, I got more engaged, and then the second year, and then it was, hey, we're going to 44 or not. And then when I made that decision to step up, and I was like, hey, we're doing this.
Well, I think it's kind of hard to go recreate as a drifter, right? A recreational drifter. There's no recreational drifters, and if they are, they're doing it illegal in an industrial park somewhere.
Right. I mean, there's events all over the country that happen, but you're right. It's not like this freedom, which is what this sport is. Like,
so these guys come out and camp, or just wheel and Jeep and all over the country that kind of follow this event and follow this. So there's this ability to fully recreate outside of the hammers or even at the hammers. And I think that's this next level of pulling the public in and having the fans and building the fandom where they can effectively participate. I'm not, I guess, comparing it to NASCAR where you camp out for a NASCAR race for a week and watch it. This you can fully participate in. You can go drive the race course and not have to pay like Talladega to get on the course and take some laps in your...
Well, this is a lifestyle that racing has spawned off of, right? So the lifestyle is very vibrant and alive. I mean, I don't even know how many people on the lake bed, I feel like the race is an excuse for them all to come at one time. But like some of them aren't so engaged, in the race. They're out here with their own stuff, having fun and being part of the lifestyle, right? And the racing and ULTRA4 is obviously engulfed that lifestyle and also gives places all over the country for these types of things to happen. Obviously, none of them as big as hammers.
That's right.
But for me, it's a lifestyle. Like, there's nothing more that I love the last few years. And I have a couple cabins in West Virginia with a buddy of mine, and we go out and just go hit the Hatfield McCoy trails. And there's nothing I love more than just getting off grid and doing that. And while this race is work for us, and we're always on and obviously want to be competitive, and we've got obligations and things to do, I still enjoy the elements. I enjoy the people, and I'm just having a ton of fun with it. And, now I've got a great partner and teammate, and we got some great stuff cooking.
Well, that said, from my standpoint, I know it's a lot of other people's standpoint, how cool it is that guys like Loren that we've known for a decade or plus that we know from rec wheeling, we know from the early days, the grassroots days of racing here, that have been able to take it to the level of walking away from their 9-to-5 job, so to speak, and making it their lifestyle, making it their way to make a living, put food on the table, raise a family, and that is a success path that exists now. That, if you would have said 5 years ago, hey, I'm going to be a professional race car driver and off-road, people will be like, yeah, that's the surest way to lose money is to do that. And here we can look at, exactly Loren sitting next to you that's doing it. So I think it's really cool to see a guy like you coming from another genre that is a revenue center and moving that, let's call it your business model, and coming over to this. I'm really intrigued by your, mindset to pull over to that and leverage everything that you have here.
Yeah, it was, with respect to Loren as a whole, I was in here, once again, I came the first year, I was just having fun, didn't know what I was doing. Second year was a little bit more of like my personal, I look at it as like my training and really kind of assessing, right? And then third year was like, okay, this is getting real. I like this a lot. What's the next phase? And it just made sense. Like Loren is my perspective, right? Like, in motorsports business, right? And you said off-road racing, any motorsport is hard. And a lot of it is because people just focus on racing and they don't focus on the other things that allow you to race. Yeah. But my perspective is Loren is a full package when it comes to somebody in that can make a living and do things, right? He is marketable. He's well-spoken. He's,
I heard it here. He said you were marketable.
He's a family. He's a family man. He's a good dude. People like him. He's likable, and he's a great driver. I still kick him in the butt every now and then and try to get him to just calm down, like 2%. But he's a phenomenal driver, and his natural skill level is phenomenal. And what I saw in him was someone that, like, the things in my experiences that I've been through and the things that I do can be of help to him. And the things that he's done can be of help to me. And that's how partnerships in any business,
have a great
right?
One. Well, as he described it, he said you guys were talking and you said, hey, let's team up because you suck at marketing.
Pretty much. I don't think I was that blunt, but I'm like, look, like, that was my perspective. Like, he does so many cool things, and the imagery around this, and like, he's constantly at these events, and like he's got a crazy schedule. Like, he's literally mirrors what I've been doing in drift, but he hasn't had the media mindset behind him and that one thing which is now so important. And for me, like, that's what I've built everything off of. Like, I've always been competitive and been a winning driver, but I always had the focus of handling the media too, because I know how important that is. And so, we started, last year was just kind of a test run, if you will. We partnered up, and the results that we saw with his social and his partners, and everyone just really noticed it, and it just made sense. Like, this year, really making it official, and we're partners in this Fun Have Rough Road initiative, and we've got great things going on with all of our collective partners, and we're just going to keep pushing it. And for me and speak for Loren, our goal is to be out here having fun and inspiring fun, number one, and then number two, we obviously want to be competitive and be a hardcore, at the top of the game. So.
Right. No, I really saw something cool that you guys did just recently. It was Loren had the opportunity to send his car to Saudi Arabia for that event, and you had a conflict. You could not make nationals, but you were in the points lead, or you were in the points race, roughly third. And with the way it worked, Loren was not in the points race so much. That happens. You can have your ebbs and flows.
DNF KOH, you're out right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate. So you go have fun for the year, make your partners happy, and so he ends up taking Brocky, does very well, and gets you a podium in the points race.
We finished third overall in the championship.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I think that's really. I think that's really cool. I believe that's really cool in the sense that we're starting to see where, like, NASCAR has some benefit of some multi-car teams. We're seeing that. And Jimmy's was great even 7-8 years ago with having the multi-car team benefit. You got the ability to take one car and borrow setups and no setups and kind of work out those details. So you guys teamed up. Now it's not so much necessarily the car setup, it's the marketing setup. It's the like this event tonight, us getting together. It was all three of us. Loren hits me up, says, "Hey, I'd like to do something with you." Okay. Sets me up with your media guy. I'm like, "Oh, you guys got a media guy." have him text me, let's figure this out.
Yeah, no, it's really rad, and it's been cool to watch. There's been a lot of things, like I've learned a ton from Loren, and when did we even decide that we were doing this year the way we were doing it?
This year?
6 months? It's been 4 months? 6 months?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
maybe
so
4 months.
Yeah, 4 to 6 months. It was 4 months probably on that side. Not long when Loren and I decided that, what we were going to do. And it's gone from, hey, we're doing this to, it escalating. I saw his team that he's been with forever, and I saw him. I'm like, what do you guys think of what we got going on? And he's like, shit has escalated quickly. That was his response. And I'm like, yeah. And, Loren's been – and it's been just such a good partner and team partnership, right? Loren's been absolutely killing it back at the shop in New Mexico. Eric, who's my co-driver, best friend, him and Loren get off very well, and he's been up there helping the team get everything ready. I've been working with our team, planning all the media and all the business around what we're doing, and it all just coming here, showing up, seeing our new rig, seeing the massive Ford activation.
It's a fleet now.
It is, and it's one of those things that I'm not surprised because I know how hard we work for it. But it's one of those things that you always hear, dream big, chase it, and it can happen.
And you almost have to pinch yourself, is this real?
Is absolutely a pinch me. When he sent me the photo of the whole Fun Fleet spread out at the desert in New Mexico, I was like, I asked him, how does that, when you see that, how does that make you feel? And his response at the time was like, I'll feel a lot better when we get to the lake bed. But
yeah, stressed.
But it feels really good. For me, it feels good to have an impact on somebody, anyone, right? Any fan that I meet or anyone. But and I know it probably felt good for Loren to have an impact on me when we started doing this. So it's it's just one of those, as I feel, one of those dream matchups. And we've built a great friendship. We've got a great business relationship. And hello,
we got the sun,
and the sun came in.
The sun's on.
And so I think there's some really great things to come. For me, I'm still going to be splitting my time, but I'm really wanting to I'm going to be racing and doing fun enthusiast events, but I really want to put a lot behind Loren and help him get to where he's been working for 15 years.
So Loren and I have had these discussions in the past, and not just on the interview that I had with him, but this has gone on for some time about when it comes to marketing and sponsorships, and it's the struggle to get out for us in ULTRA4 to get outside of the industry. And with y'all's partnership, you were able to get outside the industry on so many levels. I mean, getting Shell to the table. That's a big deal. By the way, if you're ever in Houston, we're going out to eat, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I know. Office right next to all their towers for many years. Down there all the time, yeah. And then you've got Ford at the table, and now Ford's backing this event. Those are things that didn't come easily or lightly. It was like back in the day where Randy Rod got Nitto to the table, and Nitto started putting Nitto tires on Jimmy's cars. That was a Randy Rod effort. Everyone was running BFGs at the time, and Nitto started dipping their toe in, and then now, here we are 10 years later, 15 years later, and they're sponsoring this event and have sponsored this event for some time.
Well, the biggest struggle, I think, in general in all motorsport is, especially this sport, a lot of, the professional team is not, when you look at NASCAR, a professional team is obviously very different than a professional team in ULTRA4. And I say that because the problem is the mindset here of most drivers that I've met is so focused on racing, so focused on what they're doing to the car next and how they're going to be more competitive. And albeit with respect to time and budget, they can only do so much. And it kind of just gets them in not ULTRA4 specifically, but motorsports in general, you can get in this hamster wheel where it's you're killing yourself, you're working a job, right? And I did this for years before I quit and chased it. You're working a job, You're getting home. You're spending all your money on your equipment. You're spending all your time on your equipment just to get to the next thing, and it just happens. And next thing you know, 5 years from now, you're doing the same thing and nothing's changed.
It's a death spiral.
Right. It's not a death spiral. You're still having fun. You're doing it, but like there needs to be a focus on like, okay, what makes this work? Like, what are the things that make this work? That's not just my back. And then once you start figuring those things out, you have to start putting focus on those things. Maybe you compromise and you don't do that extra, 50 hours on the truck. Maybe you compromise and have a slightly lesser truck for that year, but you're focusing that 50 hours on how you're going to do things for your partners and how you're going to elevate yourself above every other driver that's out there. And so that's the thing that a lot of people don't look at. And I say it, like it's just common knowledge because this is just my mindset.
Right.
But it is a mindset that I think everybody out here needs to start thinking about. And like, I see it starting to happen. In fact, Dave even mentioned like the things that it just needs something like this, right? And people start looking and seeing how it works and start decoding it. And for me, it's like, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying all of this. I have nothing to prove. And if anything that happens around the things that Loren and I are doing together, I hope it inspires others because this sport has what it takes to be a top sport. Like as far as I'm concerned, this is like the ultimate in off-road. And I think that with, a few more years and a couple other drivers that kind of start putting it together and start showing value, like the opportunities are endless.
Well, I think you hit on it spot on is the going outside the industry and getting sponsors outside the industry. No one really wanted to be the first ones to come in. And slowly as we've gotten them in there, Dave has Progressive Insurance down there sponsoring events.
That's wild.
That's wild, right? And as you slowly get that. And so I've made the statement to Dave that I believe ULTRA4 is on that precipice of like doubling in size in the next 5 years. The size blow up we've seen in the past 10 is insane. So like almost unmappable, unchartable. It's unchartable.
Yeah.
And so if we can get money in from, as we've seen like NASCAR dwindle and car counts when teams dwindle, there still is the need for panel space and to get it in front of the public. And here we are. We're sitting here with this very developed series that I think is genius. And then you coming in and bringing outside of this stuff to Loren, and Loren's a good guy to put those guys on.
Sure.
Because he's marketable, he's well spoken, he's good looking,
and
he has a smile.
I can say whatever I want to these people, like to all of our partners, but like at the end of the day, like he's the one delivering on it, and they've all met him, and you know what I mean. It's not like it was just like I have this power, and I'm like, hey, like do that, It's like I had to, I'm obviously the one doing the pitching for the most part, but I had to justify why and explain, they don't live these spaces. And so, I have to explain, how it works, how we can leverage it and build the programs around it. But I have lived this space and studied it and know what's available. And I also know what partners like and what they can leverage. So it's just worked.
Don't let me downplay you, Loren. I know he opened the door or put the foot in the door for you, but you freaking charged through and are just doing amazing things for your partners now. It's really cool.
No,
like I said,
we have a really exciting year planned out. There's so much cool stuff, with the launch of Bronco coming. You can see how hot and heavy they are out here at King of the Hammers this week. And the Fun Haver Tour that we're doing all year long. We have, 6 or 7 events that we're going to be doing where we've got the race side going on, but then the tour, we've got all this really, really cool activation stuff, music, displays for all our partners. And it's not just your boring static displays. It's interactive. Come in and spin the wheel, get a t-shirt, get to play, Forza or do some sort of games. Like it's much more interactive and
fully updated on y'all's website with the schedule already.
It is not. We've just been posting social. We haven't put our full schedule up just yet, but that will go up for sure.
I will be paying attention to that.
And anybody who's here in Hammertown this week, like I highly encourage you to come by. We have some really cool Recaro seats that we've been developing that you can come sit in and check out and see how much effort's gone into that. We have a really cool.
Yeah, and Ford's got a they did a King of the Hammers survival kit. So it comes with a bag, a bandana, some chapstick. And they're free at our pit. You just got the Fun Haver Tour. You just got to stop by.
You need to get those. You can buy those fake tattoo sleeves.
The Loren Healy kit.
Twin him up. Yeah. You get a Loren Healy kit, and If you wear a size 7 hat, you get a 7.5 so that you can tuck your ears.
Yeah, and then you could get his team shirt. It'd be the whole Loren Healy.
Exactly.
Maybe next year we'll do like Loren Healy night, like on Thursday before the race.
And everybody wears fake tattoo sleeves.
That would be sick.
That would be fun.
I'm game
That's
on
a great
for that.
idea.
I'm game on for that.
Well, maybe we'll put a talent tank like in the tattoo just for you.
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah. No, it's rad. And it's so cool seeing Ford come in here. You know, Ford is not a stranger to off-road. Obviously, they make arguably the best trucks in the world. You know, but they haven't been here because they obviously haven't had a product specifically for this market. I mean, you can see there's tons of Raptors out there, tons of tow vehicles. I mean, we're in a parking lot right now. I see a couple F-150s, multiple F-250s.
And y'all's amazing new Ranger right behind us.
Yeah, the Fun Runner.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're coming in very strong with Bronco, and I think if you guys saw the prototype video, I know even Loren hit me up, and he was like, damn. You know, because everyone's like, what's it going to be? How capable is it going to be? And but it's pretty rad to see them be committed to ULTRA4, and this is their people. Like, and,
it is.
And when you meet the team, they're just one of us. Like, they're not, you know, these stodgy dudes that work in a high rise. Like, they're just they were out here last year, and we took them around, and they were just mind blown and having the time of their life. So I'm really grateful that they're here. Really grateful that they're, you know, seeing the things that we're doing, and should be really great stuff in the future.
The one thing I did see out of Ford this week that I thought was really cool, it was the prototype Bronco doing some trails out here, and I saw it on maybe YouTube or somewhere on social media, and they did there was a little bit of an in-car, and there's Brad Level behind the wheel, and I'm like, that's my boy Durant. Look at Brad.
Yeah.
So that felt how strong that feels when you have at least for myself, having a personal connection with the guy. That's somebody that I call a friend. I've got in my phone. I will call him regularly or text him or whatever, and be like, hey, congrats. And there he is. I can see him on basically national TV doing what he's done for 15 years and being recognized for it.
Well, they're working with the right people. I mean, this whole process of them developing this product has been – I've seen a lot of vehicles be developed. I've been working with Ford for 12 years now, and I've seen a lot of products be developed. But the time that they took in to understand the audience and the customer and what they want and the pain points is unbelievable. I mean, the boards and the inspiration boards and things that they had up, like, it was just – unbelievably well thought out, and I'm pretty jazzed for us all to get to experience what's coming.
So back at Fun Haver HQ, do you guys have some inspiration boards up about where you're going with things? Whiteboard space?
Right now, yeah. Well, right now it's been a whirlwind. I mean, we said it about 4 months ago, like, hey, we're going to do this, and I think Loren was like, okay, yeah, I'll sit and watch this, and then it's all. He was like, yeah, I'm in, right? But I don't know that he realized that how quick this was all going to turn loose once we aligned on it. And right now it's been kind of just getting to this point, and with respect to having a schedule. But I would like to say we have this perfect 5-year plan mapped out, but we don't. But it'll come.
It'll come.
We got we got to walk before we run, but we're at a pretty solid jog right now.
You guys are at a run.
So
when you see the Fun Haver fleet, all badged up, sitting next to an 18-wheeler, yeah, you guys are at a run, and it's really cool to see how quickly you guys went from crawling to a run.
Yeah, and we've both went all in. I mean, this is a big investment of both of us with respect to time and effort and energy, and thank goodness we got awesome families that support us and, allow us to work this hard and, be gone and do what needs to be done to get it done. So
I assume Savannah just likes Loren on the road, because if he's on the road, he's not tearing down garage doors.
She says she doesn't have to cook dinner if I'm not home, so she's okay with it.
Oh, man, that's good.
Well, guys, I'm really excited that you guys were able to come on. I'm really excited for your week. I'm really excited for the partners you guys have brought into ULTRA4, not just for yourselves, but for the ancillary benefits, I don't know the right words for that. The intrinsic, you've got your intrinsic, the extrinsic value that you guys are bringing to the ULTRA4 community. That's really, really cool to see that bleed off. I like it. Well, good luck this week.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good week at the end, and we'll be standing on top of the podium with some new hardware.
Yeah. You are fully capable of it, as we well know, and this guy's no slouch either.
We'll see what happens. My first goal here every year is just to finish, and let the results end where they do. But I'll be pushing harder than I ever have, and
he's so full of it. He wants to win.
He does want to win.
I just want Loren to finish this year. That's my goal, because if he finishes, he'll probably win. But yeah, and you too, man. Keep this up. I know this is something pretty fresh, and It's cool. I like your vibe of this, and it's just relaxed and chat it out. So congrats to you.
And Loren can back this up. I started this thing for very selfish reasons. It was now I'm no longer a competitor, so I finally am in a situation where I can ask some questions that doesn't feel like somebody's giving up information that it's just stuff I wanted to know and stuff I've been curious about. But two, just staying relevant. You know, when you step away from putting the helmet on, and it's still your peer group, it's still your friends, it's still you're wanting to stay involved. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a natural step to some of the stuff that I love so much about this community and why I've been a member of it for like 15 years.
You're still driving though. You're just not racing, right?
Not racing. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got a pre-run around here somewhere. I like messing around.
You should then, with Lauren's point about stopping by and checking out the Recaros. We spent a lot of time the last 2 years developing that with them, and we've come out with the safest off-road seat ever, and you should definitely check it out.
Well, that said, I'm not done. I have a 12-year-old son. I do have an 9-year-old daughter now. She turned 9 like a few weeks ago. But racing for them is going to be the next step in the next racing in my family, I believe. I stepped away, but they're next, and it's coming.
Their blood.
It's in their blood. It's right. So when you guys are in the same exact boat, I know, but you want to put them in the safest, best thing that you can get them in, and you want to tilt the playing field in their favor. And here we are. Lauren's going to have Gen 2 kids racing, and you too, right? I mean,
if that's what he wants to do.
Some kids don't have a choice though.
Yeah. Lauren's already told me stories about his kids and his daughter. We were at by him, and there's this jump, and I was like, you think it's fine for us to do that? And that's my biggest thing. Asking him, like, can this do that? Because I don't know those things. Like, he looks at, no problem, wide open, like whatever. And I look at it, I'm like, really wide open? Like, I'm still like that. But my example though, we were going to jump off of this little ledge. And he's like, yeah, my daughter took the razor the other day and did it. And I'm like, oh my, okay, fine, then we can do it. But this is what he's in for too. So I'm seeing the premonition.
Like you talked about, like the whiteboard and the plan coming at you, like head on, full head of steam coming at you. those kids and growing up, just amazing. Well, good luck this week again. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. Vaughn, nice to get you on here. Lauren, always good to see you again.
Appreciate it.
All right, we out.
All right.